games with this deck list for March 2020. Before we look at the deck, which isn't that much different from last month's King games, I'd like to talk about a couple things. For one, I really wanted to do a Blue Eyes KoG run in March, but I decided against it because, they just got the new support and everyone was playing Blue Eyes. And I wanted to save Red Eyes for my 10th King of Games. Because March would have been KoG number 9. So, I decided late in the season to just pick a deck, just go with it. So I'm like, Assault Mode's fun, I guess. Let me use it. But the main problem... I forgot to move this. The main problem is that Esperoba is max. And because I have so many lower level characters, I would rather not use a person that's max. If I have the choice. Especially when ranked runs give a lot of experience. From what I can tell, if you don't seriously grind characters, it takes you 3 months, 3 ranked ladder runs, let's say averaging 100 wins each on average, to max out a character. So yeah, Esperoba was used for 3 King of Games runs. The Assault Mode and 2 Kurikuri ones, but in December I was using him too, so that was around 4 months. So basically, the reason I bring that up is because without Esperoba, we cannot use Cosmic Enlightenment. Now, why is that an issue? The issue is, with Cosmic Enlightenment, we can take 1,000, right? And then we can guarantee draw Psi Reflector, which is actually pretty useful. But without that, it's kind of hurts your consistency a little bit. I mean, for my playstyle, I like Cosmic Enlightenment, I like it. It just functions well for me. So, I decided, might as well use Switcheroo, since it's the other skill that does help with consistency a little bit. Because you can just shuffle back an Assault Mode monster if needed. You know what I mean? And so, you can shuffle back a card and hopefully draw into Psi Reflector. I also decided to cut the deck down to 20 cards. This decision did take me a little while because I'm not the kind of guy that's 20 cards be all end all. For me, I like 22. I like 24. I like 30 card decks. Okay, I'm the kind of guy who likes more cards. But for this, I'm like, you know what? I can cut an assault counter. I can cut an assault teleport. Because I have Switcheroo, hopefully I don't need Assault Teleport, even though it's a good card. I'm like, I need less cards. So basically, I switched the deck from 20 to 22, back to 20 to 22, again and again, and it finally started working when I switched it back to 20 a while ago. Now basically, the deck's the same. The only real difference here is the fact that we have to use Serene Psychic Witch to kind of help mitigate the lack of Cosmic Enlightenment, given the fact that if it's destroyed by battle, we can banish Psi Reflector and during this next standby phase. So that's the next standby phase, not our next standby phase. That's why having 2 Serene Psychic Witches wouldn't be the worst idea, just in case if by some way or means your Serene Psychic Witch gets destroyed on your turn, which means, you know, the monster it would summon would be during the opponent's dead in my face. So that's the only thing to keep in mind there, in my opinion. So yeah, this basically to give us like another copy of Psi Reflector, and we kind of need the consistency boost because we cannot guarantee draw it. I know we still have the 2 Canadias because I only own 2. We're still running the 2 Assault Mode Monsters and Vorse Raider because it's a relatively trap-heavy deck, and back row removal. The 2 Cosmics for Switcheroo. Switcheroo is basically, if you lose 1,000 life points, you can shuffle a card in your hand back into the deck and then draw another card. So basically, you can shuffle back an Assault Mode Monster and hopefully draw into Psi Reflector. The good news is, you can activate it as soon as possible. Let's say you have Cosmic Cyclone and your hand's kind of sort of bricky. So you just activate Cosmic, then you just shuffle back an Assault Mode Monster on your turn. You don't have to wait till the draw phase to do that. So yeah, it has some benefits, but for me, it's just not as good. And I was gonna do Scrap Dragon with Powerful Rebirth to make the deck a little different, but I decided in the end not to, because Stardust Spark is just a good card to go with, and also I decided to cut Powerful Rebirth. But Powerful Rebirth does help with what I've been talking about, you know, the lack of consistency. Because you can just Powerful Rebirth, bring back Psi Reflector, thin the deck. It's, I would say it's better than Psychic Witch. Serene Psychic Witch is a good option, though. But if you wanted to, you could put in Powerful Rebirth over Serene Psychic Witch. Like, I guess it would be better. Like, I could replace this one copy of Serene Psychic Witch with Powerful Rebirth, because it has the same effect. The problem is, you know, it clogs your back row. If you know, the card is only destroyed if the monster is destroyed. So that's why I like Scrap Dragon with Powerful Rebirth. I would use those 2 cards together if I were to ever use Powerful Rebirth. Because basically, you go into Scrap, you pop Powerful Rebirth in one of your opponent's cards. That isn't a cost to you at all, because Powerful Rebirth is dead weight, is clogging you. But the thing is, did I say Voice Raider accidentally again? I keep saying that. Witch Raider tributes traps, so Powerful Rebirth isn't really clogging you if you have Witch Raider in hand. That just gives you tribute material for Witch Raider. So yeah, nothing much else to say, since it's basically the same deck. I would definitely recommend using Cosmic Enlightenment if you're going to use the deck at all. For me, it's just a lot more flexible. Like, I can just take 1,000 and I know next turn I can go into any synchro. Whereas with Switcheroo, I need to have Psi Reflector. I would say that the benefit there is sometimes I feel kind of annoyed when I start with 2 Psi Reflectors when I have Cosmic Enlightenment, because I'm like, I can easily guarantee draw a Psi Reflector. I would rather have another card that helps me with my turn 1. That isn't like that big of a feeling that I have, but I mean, when you get like 0 Psi Reflectors and all of a sudden 2 show up, like 3 duels later, like, hey, I just hard bricked, and this is the best hand I could ever get. Too bad last game was a rank cup, and this one isn't. It gets annoying. It really does get annoying from time to time. But yeah, Canadia is really helpful in this. Just really helpful. Just a good card overall. And, you know, I made Kiteroid Prismatic. I guess that's something to say. But it's actually pretty funny. In the Kane Games rank up match, top deck Kiteroid, I didn't actually put the prismatic Kiteroid in. I had the regular Kiteroid. So, regular Kiteroid was MVP. Overall, I just would rather play with more cards, but without Cosmic Enlightenment, that it leaves you with less options. It's harder to use because it's less flexible.